Welcome Aries to your in-depth monthly forecast for March 2025. Now this is a month when you are going to have the magic of Mercury arriving in your sign on the 3rd to join up with Venus, but also with Chiron. But of course Venus goes into a retrograde on the 2nd. What I would tell you is that if we zone in on the 20th, when the sun returns to your sign for the first time in 11 months, it is in a tight conjunction with Venus, despite the retrograde, but they're both angling superbly to Pluto in your sector of future hopes. But what you may find, particularly at the start of this month, is that you're uncertain about which way to go, and that's because of the collective right at the end of the sign of Pisces. And what the North Node since the 11th of January and also Saturn over the last couple of years have been asking you to do is wind down the things that no longer serve your greater good. And it's not always easy to do that. You know, whether it's possessions that we've had for years may have a sentimental value, particularly with this Piscean energy, that it's difficult to let go of those. But there may be some practical things that we tend to hold on to because that gives us a sense of familiarity. So that could be one way that you could release. But equally at the start of this month, you could release old patterns of being and embrace a fresh way of being you. And that is going to gain traction this month, particularly with the solar eclipse, which occurs on the 29th, which is your last opportunity with this particular eclipse series to really put your foot to the floor when it's about the things that you're excited about. It's just that Venus and Mercury, although they're aligning quite beautifully for you, which could give you the platform to get something new off the ground, because they are in retrograde as the month goes on. In the case of Mercury, that's going to join up with Venus's retrograde from the 15th, and they're both inversing back into Pisces. So the key this month, I feel, Aries, is to make sure that your plan for what you want to achieve for this month is realistic, because you're a sign that although you read the pop astrology that says, oh, Aries, pile into things, get truly excited, and then get totally bored 5 minutes later, I really find that stuff very insulting to Aries, because you're the sign that listens to your instincts, but then has the courage to take action. But that can sometimes mean that you will make quick decisions and move away from situations in a very rapid manner. And I just feel that if you can just be conscious of slowing things down a little bit, it means that you will make more informed moves. And because Venus, despite its retrograde, is in such a fortunate link with Jupiter, through the first phase of this month, the first week, some kind of serendipity can fall for you. But particularly if you do what you're classically famous for, have the confidence to take the first step. So whether it's someone that you're drawn to, whether it's a business idea that's been in the back of your mind for some while, whether it's a new approach to your health and diet, if you go for it and you go for it with meaning, but you do just at that initial part of the process, take a breath and really take some time meditating on what to do, you'll get the best of that late Piscean energy and the storming energy that you bring to situations, which I think is so incredibly exciting. Now, of course, your ruler Mars had been in retrograde since the 6th of December, right through to the 24th of February. But what I would say to you is that Mars this month does forge a very impressive angle to Uranus. And that's going to give you an opportunity to really be very decisive when it comes to your financial situation, but anything about a property. So if you are thinking about moving or changing your space to create your home, to create more room, which is a classic Uranian need, or to work from home more flexibly, there could be something very exciting that you can achieve with that. But that combination between Venus and Mercury is not one that should be underestimated, because Mercury can be the marketeer, Venus can be the money man. they're together, they're in your sign. As long as you feel that you're at the heart of the action and part of the process, that gives you much more motivation. If you don't quite feel in the loop, that won't work so well this month for you. So if you work in a job which you're not enjoying, I feel week 2 it's going to become manifestly obvious to you. And even if it's not your instinct to work for yourself, everyone wants to work in a situation where they feel seen. Not everybody expects to be knighted every day of the week for their services to their employer, but it's nice to get the occasional thank you for doing that. That's a great idea. And if you're not getting that, I feel the lunar eclipse, not just this month, but over the next 6 months, can really help to separate you from something that isn't working for you. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, to be honest, because what Saturn will do in its conjunction with the Sun and the opposition with the Moon, it will help you to stay grounded this month because of the Venus and Mercury energy, because of the vernal equinox, and because of the Aries solar eclipse. It could be characterised this month as a huge month of amazing opportunities. And out in YouTube land, you'll probably see some people saying that. But I think it is really important to know what your deeper motivations are, Pisces, and also what the consequences are, Saturn, at the heart of this month, for past endeavours, past connections, and there may be some things that you still need to release. And it could be some attitudes, it could be some just ways of being that have become rather familiar and comfy, but they don't really get you going in the way they could. So if you do find yourself rethinking with Mercury and Venus's retrograde, take it in your proverbial ram's stride. And that vernal equinox, despite Venus being in retrograde, does give you an opportunity to supercharge your future plan. But that's where Pluto comes to help you this month. The clearer you are about where you want to go, and the more that clarity feels right, the more you can take a giant step forwards this month, but staying sensitive to the parts of life which are less tangible, our gut feelings, compassion, being conscious of people who may have it a little worse than us. But by the end of the month, you can be really gaining traction. But I do feel there may be like a duality between a new beginning and a lot of old strands winding down. Have a great month, Aries. Please check out your special offer personal horoscope package. You can get your 12-month forecast for the year ahead, but also your life roadmap report. The combination of these two gives you an enormous amount of information. They're great value, totally unique to each person they're produced for, and please see the link below for more. They're 30% off.